evening and welcome to another episode of Black Mental Health is Black Health. I'm your host, Ms. B, the Black Couch Therapist. And if you've never been here before, we always start out with some deep breathing. It's the end of the day. You might need to decompress a little bit. So let's jump right into it. Breathe in, 2, 3, 4, out, 2, 3, 4. In, 2, 3, 4, out, 2, 3, 4. One more. In, 2, 3, 4, out, 2, 3, 4. Just that woosah at the end of the day to kind of let you regroup and feel good. Well, I always ask my guests to introduce themselves and tell us something cool about themselves. But first, let me ask you, how was that deep breathing for you?
Oh, man, it was amazing. I needed it.
Awesome. Glad you did. So, who are you, ma'am? And tell us something cool about yourself.
All right. Well, my name is Prishns Casan. I'm a licensed professional counselor. Ms. Bronwyn was my supervisor and my mentor, so thank you so much for having me, Bronwyn. And something cool about me, I'm the owner of Secret Garden Vibes Nature Studio.
Ooh, and we're going to find out what that is. So tonight, we're going to talk about the importance of silence and being still and getting off the grid, and an event that's going to allow you to do that. But first, we want to show you where the event is, before it gets a little dark out there. And so, Prishna, tell us this place, Secret Garden Vibe Nature Studio. What in the world is that?
Yes, so Secret Garden Vibes is my property where I live, and I'm also opening up this space so that other therapists, mental health professionals, healers, anybody who's really serious about transformative work to come out and have this space to do things, some incredible life-changing things for their community. And so it's 5 acres and a lot of open space for trees. We have wildlife out here. It's just so serene and so peaceful. So I'm going to flip my camera so you can kind of see some of the land that we have here.
Awesome.
And so the last, and Bronwyn, maybe you can share a little bit about the last summit that we had.
So what we're planning is, it's called the Silent Summit. And it's 6 hours. And for 3 of those 6 hours, you are totally silent in a little tent somewhere on this beautiful property. As she shows you the property, just imagine a little tented area just for you to see and be there. And you'll have the opportunity to sit in silence. We're going to tell you some more about why you need to sit in silence. But for 3 of those hours, we're going to hold your phone and your watch and give you some guidance in what to do on this beautiful property. So show them a little more.
Yes. And so we also have some added on features that we're going to open up. In the future, we are going to have some cabins out here. We do have a pond area. The pond is not yet filled, but it will be. So just imagine having a retreat or a workshop out here in your own cabin, and just being able to do and explore with so many different activities, especially when it comes to healing. A lot of times, we sit and we talk and we get our problems out, but we also have to remember that some of these things are trapped in our bodies. And so to be able to be out and land and, be able to move around and do things, it's also helpful for healing as well. So I envision just a whole bunch of different activities out here. There's so many endless things that can happen. Yoga, fitness, energy work, sound bowls, inner child activities. I have a tree house over here. I'm kind of getting a little closer to the tree house. And so there's just so many different activities and ideas that you can really bring out here to just transform and grow your community grow yourself as an individual, especially with something like the Silent Summit. Silent Summit is going to be so amazing.
So as you look at the property, imagine yourself having your own little tented area and you're just seated. So let me give you an overview of the summit, and then we'll get a chance to talk about some of its benefits. So from 8 to 9, everyone's arriving and we'll have a light breakfast. At 9, the activities begin, and no one can enter after 9 o'clock. The reason being, we don't want to break the mood, break the silence, break the vibe. So from the 9 o'clock to 10 o'clock hour, we'll talk about silence and even more than we're doing tonight, and just self-reflection. And then we'll have a yoga class and a meditation, a guided meditation, and you will go off to your area. During that 8 to 9 hour, you get to choose where you want to sit in this venue. Choose your little tenant area, what works for you. Then you have a chance at 10 o'clock to 1 o'clock to sit in silence. Now, some people say, I can't be quiet that long. That's just way too much. Well, as you see how the property looks, one, you can just walk around. Maybe you need to just walk and commune with nature. You will have that opportunity. Is that the treehouse?
Yes, there it is.
Wow, amazing.
Yeah, and then this is the pond over here. So it's not filled yet, but just imagine this whole area, this big, massive area filled with water. And then you can also imagine those cabins all around. So for now, you imagine your tent, and just being out here in nature and just really being able to experience something that you probably haven't experienced in a very long time.
If ever, for some people, being
right.
in nature. So, and this is where you'll be for that 3 hours of silence. You'll have a chance to just sit in this space in your own private area. No one will be close to you. Everyone will have their own space to just be there and enjoy. After the 3 hours, we will come together to reconvene and just sort of debrief and talk about what it's like. One of the things that's cool is you can hear birds. You can hear the wind rustling through the trees. And this is right here in Arlington, Texas. But when you're just out and about, you don't hear the birds. You're not silent enough to hear birds chirping, and different kinds of birds. And you hear different sounds. You might see a squirrel zoom by. There's, nature, wildlife. How often do you allow yourself to just enjoy nature, just that alone? So this is Secret Garden Vibe Nature Studio, where we're going to be for this event, the Silent Summit. It's going to be held on September 27th from 8 to 2. So now let's get into why it's important. Prishna, what do you want to say about, I'll give a little thing about grounding, and then I'm going to let you talk about why you think it's important, how you do it. So grounding or earthing involves a person having physical contact with the earth's surface. Your feet in the dirt, your feet in the sand, but you are next to nature. There's nothing in between you and nature. So there are some things that can happen in your body that are supposed to be some benefits. It said it can reduce inflammation by neutralizing free radicals, because the energy from the earth and the energy from your body are balancing these things out. It can improve stress levels and lower cortisol, and enhance the quality of sleep, increase your energy, better circulation, better immune system. And one of the things is when you allow yourself to do grounding, you're stopping everything. You're going to sit in silence, your feet in the dirt. And it's so positive. Prishna, what do you want to tell them about grounding?
Grounding for me is so important because I have a really busy schedule. I have 4 kids. I'm married. I just have a lot going on. I have my client caseload. And whenever I connect with nature and just feel my feet connected to the ground, it brings me back centered. It brings me back to, okay, why am I doing all of this? what is my why? What is my purpose? And what else do I need to do as far as like for myself? So it brings me back to home. That's what I feel like grounding does for me. And it's something that really, it just really centers you.
It really does. I often talk about mind and body are together. And so when you're grounding, it impacts you mentally as well as physically, as well as spiritually. From a physical, that I stated some of the physical things that can do to your body, such as reducing inflammation or allowing you to sleep better. And part of that, there are the physical aspects of it. And then there's just the mental part of it. When you stop and you allow yourself to connect with nature, you find out, wow, why have I never done this, or why haven't I done it? I'm old enough where we used to could go outside and play, and we would just play outside. And you wanted to be outside running around. Maybe you're going to take your shoes off even you're not supposed to. We were in the dirt. We played in dirt. We made mud pies. And somebody's going to taste it. So we were, I think our immune systems were better because we were out there in the dirt. Literally, we loved to play outside. And even that, maybe that's why that was such a fun thing to do, because it had its calming effect to us and we didn't even know it. Our parents didn't know it. We were just outside. That was good. So there's so many benefits to just being out in nature and loving that. I will say this quickly about grounding. I was grounding before I knew it. So I'm a beach person. I love to just go walk along the sand and have my feet in the sand. That's grounding. That's connecting with nature. And it makes me feel so good. Whenever I go home to Houston, I'm going to go to Galveston. Yes, it's not the most beautiful beach, but it's ours. And it's sand. And I can just go and take my chair and put my feet in the sand. And I am just centered. I feel so much better. Didn't realize that it wasn't, it's a real thing. I just like doing it because it felt good to me. But there are real benefits to just doing that, to just being grounded, being centered. So, we're going to, at this event, we'll also be doing some yoga. What can you say about yoga and its benefits?
Oh, from a therapy standpoint, I think that, again, when I talk about the way that some of the trauma and adversities are stuck in your body, yoga is such a calming technique, and it helps you to connect with the inner child, if that's the type of work that you're doing for healing. The first time I did it, that's what happened for me. That was my experience. It was like, wow. I really was able to just connect to, did you lose me? Am I still there?
I hear you, but I don't see you.
Yeah, because I had a call coming in.
Oh.
Okay, now I see it. Okay, I got it.
Okay, let's see.
Uh-oh.
Oh no, we want you back.
I want me back too. I don't know what happened. Okay, let's see if that did something. No.
There you are. Yay. Who knows what happens when we're live?
But it happens. But that yoga, it's such a calming connection with mind, body, spirit. That was my experience.
You're gone again.
Okay. I'm coming back.
We know.
I call. You know what? My son is calling me. I just need to text him really fast. I'm so sorry.
Okay. While she's taking that, mommy duties are real, and mommies are on 24/7. While she's taking care of that, let me tell you a little more about that day. And these are some of the things, like the yoga will happen that day. You'll have a chance to do grounding. For each little tented area, you'll have a place to sit. You have a chair. You have ground covering. You'll have blankets on the ground if you want to sit on the ground. If you want to sit just in the grass, you can do that too. All those options are there to make you comfortable in the space. You'll be provided a guided journal. This journal will have blank paper. It'll have lined paper. It will have prompts to write on. 3 questions about physical, 3 about spiritual, 3 about mental, emotional. So you'll have prompts if you can't think of anything to write. During the first one, I can remember one participant saying, "Yeah, I read through those questions. I was going to get to them, and I started journaling. 3 hours was up. Oh my gosh, it went so quick." One person said they were going to use them as their journal prompts for the next. You said, "Okay, one question's going. That's more than a day," and so they were going to use them as journal prompts just later on. But we give that to you. You'll also, in your journal, have some coloring pages because tapping into the creative side of your mind, some adult coloring pages just to, and then you'll have some word searches with affirming words because you need to just affirm yourself. So those are some of the things that you'll be able to do during that 3 hours. You don't have to use any of it. You'll also maybe some people want to bring a Bible or their own book for whatever faith tradition you have, so that you can just read and write and speak to yourself. You were talking about yoga, and what else were you going to tell us about? Just some of the benefits.
That was pretty much it. That was the benefit for me, was connecting, because sometimes it feels like those things are separate, So that alignment with the movements and the breathing, it really centers you and just makes you feel a sense of wholeness, So that's the true benefit of yoga, I feel.
And I can agree. And it does speak to mind, body, spirit. It is a Western thought that mind, body, and spirit are three different things. But we're not. We are mind, we are body, we are spirit. We're not separate. We are triune beings. We're all of that. So, thinking about the silence, when we take time to sit and be still, you know what? It can be scary. Let me ask you, what was your experience? Because you participated in the last Silent Summit. What was your experience?
Ooh, I didn't know that I needed that time to sit and be still. My experience was very peaceful. There was one point where I felt like I fell asleep for a little bit, but it didn't feel like it was a long sleep. It was like I can't even explain how perfect that little nap was. But when I woke up, I got to my journal and I was able to write a little bit, and things were coming for me that if I didn't give myself that time to be still, that wouldn't have came. It was that powerful. It was that deep. It just felt more of a connection with my purpose, my why, and what God has for me, what is for my life. And I was able to get that from the silence. Some parts were scary, like you mentioned, because as a little girl, I used to always sleep with a TV because I was running from the silence, So I don't often give myself that time to be just completely quiet in that way. So that day for the experience, it was giving me the chance to confront myself and challenge myself with some of the things that, even if you don't want to pay attention, they still show up anyway. So it's time to have that courage to look at those things. And that stillness gave me that.
I want to comment on a couple of things you said. One, I fell asleep for a little bit. And some people might think, well, if I'm quiet and I fall asleep, it's a bad thing. No, it could happen. Yes. And that's okay. And like you said, you didn't sleep the whole time. If you did, maybe you needed to sleep. Yeah. And maybe, and I've never had anyone do that, but it could be that it's a time where you just have to reconnect. And maybe it happens to do that. I'm going to give you an example of how powerful sleep is. I used to have an event before I lived here. It was called Mom's Moscato and Milkshakes. And it was a women's gathering, and we just came together and sat in peace. We might play games, we might just talk, but it was just a couple of hours. No children allowed. If you can't find a babysitter, I'm sorry, we'll catch you next time. I kicked my own child out of the house. He couldn't be home. His energy was not welcome. And we sat there. Well, there was a woman whose daughter had committed suicide. a couple of months before. She came and she fell asleep. And we all went to another room and let her just have the area because she needed that. And so, even if you're in an environment where there's another purpose and it's the first time you can just rest and get sleep, there is benefit in that. So, if anyone who's thinking, if I come in, I might just fall asleep. Well, you know what? Being in nature and falling asleep is not a bad thing. It's what you need. You're going to get what you need by allowing yourself to stop because we don't take time to just stop. Just stop. And there's so much power in that. Just let's talk about the value of a little more about the value of silence. You know, we live in a world where we're bombarded with noise. We're all on our devices, we're on our computers, we're connected to the grid in some kind of way. And so the noise is not just auditory. You can look at visual, just noise of everything going on. And when we can stop and how often do we stop and turn it off? Well, since the Silent Summit, I'll ask you, how many times have you stopped and turned off the world? Oh, I can't hear you. I lost you. I lost you. We can't hear you when you move. Now we can't see you. When you moved from point A to point B, we lost.
Okay.
Now you're back.
I'm back. I'm so sorry.
No.
So I forgot what the question was.
Oh, when was the last time how many times since the Silent Summit have you just taken time to sit in silence?
You know what, Bronwyn? I haven't. I have not given myself that chance again. Mm-hmm. I haven't done it, to be honest. I'm gonna put some lights.
We don't. I see you moving around as it's getting darker outside.
Yes.
But find some little light so we see your face.
Yes.
And that's my point. Even when we know how beneficial it is, we don't do it.
We don't do it.
This time can allow you to do it. And maybe for some of us realize I need to do it a little more. And maybe it's not going to be 3 hours, but giving yourself a chance to just stop. We don't do it. She's here in the venue every day. Not take the time to do it.
Look at that. Look at that. I mean, I'm here and I don't give myself the time, and it's like, again, it's needed because it's like a reset from everything, A lot of times I hear clients say they feel stuck, they feel stagnant. It's because you haven't checked within yourself to see where you are and what needs to happen, what needs to shift, what's what's motivating you for the future, what are your goals, all those things. And I was able to get that reset moment from the Silent Summit. So I'm really looking forward to the next one because I'm in need of another reset.
Mm-hmm. And we can all at any time use a reset. So another thing, we've talked about the yoga, we've talked about the grounding. We're also going to do some meditation. And for some people, that's, we don't want to do that. That's the devil. That's this. I've heard so many things meditation can be called. I can speak to, but what can you say about meditation?
Meditation for me, like when I first started to realize the importance of meditation was when I saw my baby connect her mind and her body and realize that she's a full human being. And it was the very first time I saw her, like when she saw her hand and she was able to move her hand and she was like, oh my goodness, like I'm doing this. Mm-hmm. And it was a meditation because she wasn't able to talk. She was so little at the time, like maybe 4 months or something like that. And so I was able to learn from her that when we are able to just be still, give our mind that quiet time, that there are things that come to us. There are things that are revealed to us in a way that we probably would not get it on any other way. Like that's pretty much what it is. It's that clarity. It's that peace and that clarity that you receive and get when you just sit and allow your mind and your thoughts to just leave you, and it takes a minute to get there. I remember when you first introduced silence to me and you were like, you need to, the first 4 hours or the first 2 hours are going to be, your mind is going to be all over the place. So allowing yourself to sit and allow those thoughts to come and breeze on by to get to that clear place. And it's powerful. It's so powerful.
I really believe it is too. And even with the meditation, I know there are some in the Christian community that are really opposed to meditation, but meditation is sitting quiet and listening to the spirit. Even the Bible says, be still and know that I am God. So if you're going to be still, and it talks about listening to that small, still voice. How can you hear the small, still voice with all the noise of the world?
Yes.
So it is not an anti anything. It is about you connecting with your innermost self. And we don't, as I said earlier, some people are afraid of it. I don't want to look at myself and know what's in there. I've got too much going on. But just because you don't look at it doesn't, from a therapist point of view, I will say, just because you ignore what's going on doesn't mean it's not impacting you. So being silent can give you the chance to breathe, and we'll practice some breathing. We will just do a guided meditation to help everyone become centered. And then you will have 3 hours of silence. And it sounds like a long time, but I will tell you, everyone there, I walked by and held the sign up and said like 10 minutes. And they were like, no. Mm-hmm.
I know, I felt that.
They just wave like, mm-mm. No one felt. And that was one common thing. Everyone said, it wasn't 3 hours. I was like, yeah, it was 3 hours. I was the only one with the clock. And I just said it. And so that I wouldn't even look and think about it, I set it on I kept my watch so I could, it vibrates. I could set an alarm on my watch. So I wasn't looking at it because I didn't want to be distracted either. Because I was doing some work. I was just making sure everybody was okay, but I was able to enjoy the silence and was journaling myself. And I don't even like to journal, but I was writing away that day. So yes, the 3 hours, even for me, was like, it is wrong. Why is my watch vibrating? What's wrong with it? So yes.
Yeah, and for me, I knew I had to get back to the kids. So I was like, I don't want to leave. I want to stay in this little, I want to stay in my tent. And, it just felt so good. It was like a warm hug that I did not realize I needed.
Yes.
Yeah.
I like that. It was a warm hug.
Yes.
And so we want everyone to experience that warm hug. So let me tell you how you can find out. If you go to my website, blucaslpcs.com, which is also on the screen, you will have the opportunity to see Silent Summit, and you click on it and scroll up and you'll see the form. You'll see everything you need, but it will be an opportunity that can be life transforming and life changing for you to be able to connect with yourself, connect with your spirit within, and let's go of all the whatever and chaos of the world. We need to do it more. And hopefully we can all learn to make this a practice. But until then, trying to do it this one time can be your opportunity to say, ooh, I'm good with me. And you can also have the joy of experiencing Secret Garden Vibe Nature Studio. It is an amazing space. I've been to events there more than one time, and every time it's just like, okay, we have to go now. Okay. Because you're so connected. And then an hour later, you're still like in that flow. Even with the when we did the Silent Summit, talking to people. No one, and our last thing I'll tell you, no one wanted to talk when it was over. When it was time to regroup, one person finally said, we're just not ready to talk. And they whispered it. You don't have to whisper, but no one was ready to talk because they were still in that space.
Yes.
So it was amazing. A final word, Prishna.
Oh, a final word. Come. You need to come and experience it. It's one thing to talk about it, but you really have to feel what this Silent Summit feels like. Just being able to get off the grid, being able to connect within yourself and get grounded, recentered in your life, it's going to propel you further into your goals and the endeavors that you have in store. So definitely just come and see what it's all about.
Awesome. Well, I always like to end with a call to action. And my call to action is even if you can't come, take time, stop, turn the world off for just a little bit for yourself. I have a friend whose voicemail says, if you want to hear God's voice, turn down the world's volume. So I challenge you to do that. I've always been saying, vote, vote, vote. Man, in Texas, voting is so crazy. But you know what? I will always say, be politically aware and be ready to make changes. That's your call to action. I'll see you next week, and hopefully you'll join us. Go to blucaslpcs.com and check out the Secret Garden Vibe. I will see you next week.